So I often I often consider the practical effect that I create as a as another character in the image that I'm shooting. So, for example, I did some images for Disney for the release of Toy Story 4, and there was one image I had, but the idea was that he was kicking over a glass of milk onto Forky, who was carrying a chocolate chip cookie. And so I created that splash of milk, and that practical effect had, to me, as much weight and importance as the other two characters. So I considered that splash of milk the third character. Again, I can't speak to how long that took. Um, but those aren't really the factors for me. It's the fun, it's the
Yeah.
fun of actually, I don't really necessarily like have fun cleaning up after each failed splash attempt, but it is really fun. It's really like a form of play for myself. I don't sit around playing with toys, but I do visualize what these toys can do, and I will pose. I'll sit around and pose them, and in my head, it is a form of play, and the practical effects that I create really are really part of like a lot of fun to create. And especially when you get them in the computer and you can kind of see what you created, and hopefully it was something good. And when you finish with the final editing of the image, it's just like, a lot of times it's like, it even surpasses your own expectations, the way everything comes together sometimes. So when I first started shooting toys, after my nephew introduced it to me, I went home and I bought some. It was 2015. I think The Force Awakens was the Star Wars movie that was coming out that year, and there hadn't been a Star Wars movie in quite a while. So so much like there was so much excitement. So everybody, it seemed like, in the toy photography community was shooting Star Wars. So I hopped on the bandwagon. I bought some stormtrooper action figures and some clone troopers, and we have a park nearby called Vasquez Rocks, and it really looks like you stepped into Tatooine. In fact, there's a famous Star Trek episode a long time ago that was filmed at this, and it was like Captain Kirk had to fight this monster called the Gorn, and it's fun to watch that scene because, first of all, it's so cheesy. Oh, if you watch it now, it is so cheesy. Like
I still love it. I still
the
love it.
fight scenes are
It's
just
great.
like, oh my gosh, well, why are they first of all moving in slow motion? But they're not. It's just like Kirk is hitting. It's super slow, but it's happening in front of a really famous cliff or rock at Vasquez Rock.